Thrive Night. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Laura. I'm a mom of two. I'm a holistic nutritionist, and I am the founder of The Lavish Method, where I teach women who just want to lose weight, simple way of eating that doesn't involve giving up wine, or chocolate. And tonight I am here with my friend Tori, and I'm gonna let Tori introduce herself and tell you all about her expertise in supplements, and then we're gonna get going. So Tori, take it away.
Sorry, just had to unmute. So I work at a local to Peterborough nutrition store. It's called Kelsey's Nutrition Center. I kind of grew up in the industry. My father owns the store, but I kind of came into the industry by accident, but I really, really found my niche because of just because of the ability to help people enrich their lives and make it better without using, potentially harmful pharmaceuticals, and just helping people find their way with natural products as opposed to things that might not do your body as much good. So yeah, I'm happy to be here. Thank you so much for having me, Laura.
You are so welcome. So you guys, I know there's always a ton of questions on supplements. So if you have questions, that's what the comments are for. We're going to kind of start by talking a little bit generally, and then we're going to talk about some more specific things, and then we're going to see where you guys are at. So pull up your cocktail. Tori and I both have low sugar wine on the go. This is a fun conversation. This is not a stuffy conversation on supplements. So for me, I am a nutritionist, obviously. So people assume that I take a lot of supplements, and I have a cupboard full of supplements, and I love supplements. I'm brutal at taking them on the daily. Just total confession here. So what I find is my mind goes to supplements when something goes wrong, when I need them. And then I go on a rampage, and I go out and I buy this, that, and the other. And this happened, with us having colds this month. I've been like rummaging through the cupboards, bringing things out, and you forget how amazing supplements are. So Tori, let's start off pretty generally. What do you think are the best supplements to have on hand as a woman going into this holiday season? Like what should we be stocking our cupboards with, and why?
Well, for holiday season, it's a lot of colds, a lot of flu, so immune boosters are key. So added vitamin C, of course, everybody knows added vitamin C, although it can't help you once you already have a cold. It can help boost the immune system so that you can fight off colds a little bit faster, more efficiently. There's also medicinal mushrooms, which a lot of people are just starting to take and starting to realize the benefits of them. There's reishi, there's cordyceps, there's chaga. There's a whole bunch of different mushrooms up there, and we're just learning a little bit about them now, but they can be really, really beneficial to immune system support. There's also, obviously oil of oregano. Once you already have your cough and cold, always have oil of oregano.
Oil of oregano. It is my favorite.
Always have it in your cupboard. It is antibacterial. It is antimicrobial. It's antifungal. It's fantastic for everything from cough and colds and flus and everything. But you can also use them for fungal issues like, toe fungus and that kind of things. It's just always really good to have oil of oregano in your cupboard. So those are the biggest ones for, going to the, this Christmas season, and the colder seasons where cough, colds, and flus just happen way too often.
Totally. So for people watching, they probably were expecting you to say like the usual vitamin C, and I don't even know what else the usual is in like normal people land. So obviously I've heard all of these things, but the mushroom thing, a lot of people probably haven't heard of mushrooms. Why are mushrooms so great? How do you take them? Like, is it an actual mushroom? Is it a capsule? Like, tell us about it.
Well, there's many different ways that you can take them. You can take them traditionally, most of the mushrooms are taken in tea form. So you get the dried mushroom and then you steep them in a tea and then you drink them that way. However, recently, of course, with every, technology moving on, we have medicinal mushrooms that are made into either a pill, tincture, or just a liquid form that's really easy to take. So the pill forms, they just micronize the mushrooms, and you just, take it in capsule, and that way they can make it condensed, and they can really make it potent while also giving you a full spectrum of mushrooms to enjoy. More recently, they've also been making sprays, so you can just do like a little quick little spray, and then that gives you the full immune system support, and it's really easy. It's on the go, and you can just take it and then just go. And they come in really nice flavors too to help with the breath.
Cool. So do mushrooms help once you are sick, like once you have a cold, once you have a flu, or are they something you should be taking preemptively?
Yes, you can take them both preemptively, and you can also take them when you already have a cold, both pre and, for. They just help boost the immune system. They help you get over the cold, and they also help you not get the cold in the first place.
Cool. So I don't have mushrooms in my medicine cabinet. So apparently I'm coming to Kelsey's and buying mushrooms. Amazing. What do you think of colloidal silver? So I've been on the colloidal silver bandwagon this cold and flu season. I don't know if it's helped or not. I think it helped. How do you feel about colloidal silver? And maybe tell us a little bit about that.
It's a great product. It's fairly new to our industry, even though it's been around. It seems like it feels like it's been around for a while, but it's still fairly new. One thing that's interesting about it is it's really hard to get on the Canadian market. I know from my own experience with the Health First Network, we are looking at getting a new colloidal silver into our Health First brand of vitamins.
Right.
The problem is Health Canada, I should say, has been giving us a lot of problems because there's a lot of standards that it has to make in order to be sold in the Canadian market. So it's a really cool product. It's antimicrobial, antibacterial. People say that it can, cure everything except for death. But the struggle is to get it approved, to get it studied, and to get it, onto the Canadian market. There are a lot of colloidal silvers that are on the market already. So you do have a little bit of products to choose from already, but it's still, being studied, and I'm looking forward to seeing all the new things to come out from them.
Cool. So question about colloidal silver then, because I always research my supplements, and I ran into quite a few studies, and there's not enough about it to actually know if this is a worry or not. But how do I know how much to take before I turn blue?
Well, always follow the directions. So all of the supplements that are available for sale in Canada all have a number on them. It's called an NPN. And if you look at any product, you should find an NPN somewhere on the bottle. And there's a number on there, and you can go to the Health Canada website and you can look it up, and it's there. So as long as it has an NPN, you can follow the directions on the bottle, and that's Health Canada's, recommended dosage, basically.
Amazing. That's amazing. So I bet a lot of people watching this, either live and on the replay, don't know this. So guys, look at that NPN number and then look it up if you're curious about dosage, side effects, all of that good stuff. You can find it. That's awesome. Okay, cool. So we've talked a little bit about cold and flu, which is awesome. So what are the other big questions you tend to get when people come in looking for supplement? Like, what do people want?
Well, this time of year, they're looking for, digestive enzymes, because you're going to Christmas dinner and you don't know what everybody else is bringing. So digestive enzymes are.
Okay, let's talk about those. That's good. So tell us about digestive enzymes. I use digestive enzymes with my clients a lot. I think digestive enzymes are the freaking second coming. They're amazing. So for people who don't know what digestive enzymes are, how can they help digestion? How can they help with, things like resistant fat loss, things like leaky gut, all of that stuff, stress?
Exactly. Yeah, no, digestive enzymes can really help fill in the gaps that your digestive tract might be missing. So they have things like protease, amylase, and things that help you break down food so that you can actually use the food and it doesn't sit and rot in your gut and make gas. So when you don't have enough, not only probiotics, but enough digestive enzymes in your stomach and digestional tract, you tend to get gas because the food is sitting there and it's rotting and it's making, you feel really sick.
Totally.
So when you have foods that are a little bit different than your normal diet, so, when you go to dinner and you have, Aunt Martha come with her nice big casserole, and it's not something you normally have, sometimes you don't have the digestive enzymes that are necessary to break down that food. So that's when you'd want to take a digestive enzyme supplement, or, before any meal, if you're not digesting things properly and you're having a lot of gas, a lot of bloat, and you're not feeling well, that's a great time to take a digestive enzyme.
Amazing. This is really good advice. This is taking me on a totally different track that I wasn't even thinking about for the conversation tonight, but this is really good. Okay, so digestive enzymes are amazing. You should have them in your pocket. What's a good brand of digestive enzymes that you would recommend? Because that's a huge one. We will talk about that next too, is brands.
There's a couple different brands that I would recommend. Health First has a great enzyme called Primezyme, and it's a full spectrum enzyme. When you're looking for an enzyme, unless you have a specific need or want, like if you can't digest gluten or lactose or something to that effect, you want a full spectrum enzyme. Another good one is from Now. It's Super Enzymes, and again, it's a full spectrum one.
I've used that one. It's great.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So I have two things that are just coming into my head now. This is awesome. So, okay, enzymes are amazing. What are two other top supplements you would have in your arsenal for potential stomach upset going into the holidays? This is amazing because for all of us, who are doing our best to eat well throughout the rest of the year, we're really sticking with foods that make us feel good. A lot of times the holidays is the time to ease up a little bit, have the extra slice of pie or whatever Aunt Martha brought for dessert, and not really stress about it. But if you're not used to eating that stuff, it can really throw a curveball to your digestive system. So what do you recommend having on hand besides enzymes in case that happens?
Probiotics, definitely probiotics. They're the biggest one that I would say in addition to digestive enzymes, and probiotics are so great to take because they do so much more than just help you digest things. They're fantastic. Past that, you can also take a little bit of betaine. It helps increase the stomach acidity, which helps you digest things more. Now, young people don't need to worry about that quite as much. It's more for the older crowd that need to worry about your stomach acidity becoming more basic as opposed to acidic. And again, if this food isn't being broken down by the acidity in your tummy, then it's just going to sit there and rot and give you more problems.
Amazing. Do you have, so say say the person who's having an issue did not watch this and they do not have any of these supplements that they should have been taking ahead of time. What do you suggest for after the fact? What happens if you eat the food, you go, oh my god, I feel like garbage? What would you suggest to fix that ASAP?
Well, if your tummy's upset, then ginger obviously is a great thing to take. Cool. And directly after, you can always take something simple like papaya or, and even after the fact, take your probiotics. Always take your probiotics. That's a really nice everyday thing. Really simple, really easy to take, but it does so much for you, more so than, I think that we realize so far. And that's why it's so exciting to see the studies that are coming out on it.
Amazing. Yes, totally agree. The studies on gut ecology and the effects it has on things as far reaching as, weight gain and, depression. And there's links out there talking about autism and all sorts of crazy things linked to gut bacteria. So I think, totally agreed. So we've got a question here, and then I want to talk about brands and how to know which supplements you should be buying because it's a friggin' shit show out there. So before we go there, Kathy says, and this is a really good question a lot of people might be thinking. So for someone who is rarely sick, can't remember the last time I had a cold or flu, touch wood, why do I need supplements? Seems like people are swallowing a lot of supplements, and I wonder if they really know why they are taking them or they're just the in thing. I think this is such a good question. What are your thoughts?
Oh, no, definitely. If you have a really good diet, and you're younger, you might not necessarily need supplements every day. And it's something that you should talk to, obviously I'm not a doctor. You might want to talk to your doctor or nutritionist about. But if you're feeling fairly healthy, you might not need to take supplements every day. That's,
Yep.
Might not need to.
Here are my thoughts. I totally agree with Tori. And like I said, I freaking love supplements. I could drop $500 on supplements in about 15 minutes happily and be so excited about it. And I'm terrible at taking them. It's just how I roll. But I do think there's a couple supplements, and you can add or subtract from this if you think that I missed something or am overemphasizing something. But I think if you live in Canada, you would 100% have to take vitamin D.
Vitamin D.
Okay. 100%. You have to. Vitamin D is huge for your immune system. It's huge for cancer, anti-tumor. It's huge for, there's so many things, inflammation. We're finding it's tied into a lot of different processes within your body, and we don't get enough. We cannot manufacture enough in the wintertime. And even in the summer with like the sunscreens and the hats and the indoors and the UV, we need vitamin D, right?
Oh, definitely.
That is that I would suggest no matter what you should be taking, because I know you live in Niagara region, so you need vitamin D. And I think probiotics, right?
Probiotics, definitely. Especially, like I was saying, especially with the studies that are coming out nowadays about probiotics, they've been found to, there's been a brain, gut, and heart connection. And they're all connected with the probiotics in the gut. And they've been found that they can influence everything from, brain health, gut health. There's been connections with body inflammation as well. It's a really good thing to take every day.
And there's so much out there too that we're ingesting and that is coming into our world that is like a killer to the natural gut ecosystem, right? So even if we have a fairly clean diet, even if, everything else is in place, I still think that there's a lot to be said for taking probiotics regularly. And there's research too that shows like your major gut ecosystem is established basically within the first few weeks after you're born. So nowadays, right? Like you eat a clean diet and you juice and you do all the things, who knows what was going on when you were born, right? Like a cesarean birth versus a vaginal birth, breastfeeding versus bottle feeding, hospital environment, like all of these things contribute to that, right? So I think that's huge. Is there anything I'm missing, Tori, that you think would be like a non-negotiable everyday supplement that you think women should take?
Depends on your diet, but I would say a multivitamin is fairly important. I mean, a lot of people, they think that they eat well, but they don't eat quite as varied a diet as they should. I know that your diet is extremely varied, which is fantastic. But for a lot of people, like there are gaps that need to be filled. I mean, especially when you're vegetarian or vegan. And that's another thing. You have to read the label and make sure that your multivitamin that you're taking is on par with your beliefs as well, like whether you're vegetarian or vegan. But vegetarian and vegans definitely have to look at, taking extra calcium and taking extra iron. If you're pregnant, obviously you have to take a prenatal. And then of course, children. I mean, children are picky eaters. They should definitely be taking a multivitamin to help fill in the gaps and make sure that they're getting all the nutrients that they need to grow up big and strong.
Okay, so this is good. I think that's really cool. So tell me what you think about somebody going to Walmart and buying a multivitamin for $7.99, and tell me what the difference is between that multivitamin and buying a good quality multivitamin.
Well, the products, basically with any vitamin, with anything, you get what you pay for. So if you're paying $7.99 for a vitamin, the problem with those vitamins is that they buy cheaper quality ingredients that don't absorb quite as well. And they don't do much with the vitamins and the stuff that they're putting into it. So when you buy a high quality or higher quality vitamin, what you're buying is, sometimes you get a vitamin that's plant sourced. So it's more readily absorbed by the body instead of coming from say, for example, calcium. You can get calcium from limestone. You can also get it from aquamin, which is a plant-based source of calcium. The aquamin is going to absorb better than the limestone, obviously, more readily used by the body. Some companies ferment their vitamins, which makes it, more digestible, more readily used. Wow. Some companies use omega suspension technology. So they suspend the vitamins and minerals in a globules of oil so that it's easy to go through the cell membrane because they're encased in a globule of oil. It depends. Every company's different, and every company has a really cool way of making it more readily available. And some companies just look at the bottom line and want to make it as cheap as possible. So, that's the big difference is quality.
Totally. Yeah.
What you're absorbing.
So this is a good segue. So, and Kathy says, definitely not younger. Okay. So hopefully that answers your question, Kathy. So let's segue over into this then, because it's really confusing out there. Even sometimes I'll go in and, there's some new brands and I'll even get overwhelmed. And I've been doing this for quite a while now. So how do you know what brands to buy? How do you know what vitamins, like if you want calcium, how do you know which calcium to choose? If you want a B vitamin, how do you know which B vitamins to choose? If you want a multivitamin, how do you know? How do you know what's good, what's not?
Well, on your own, you can
Without,
always.
without having a much knowledge of absorption and the different types. So what would, if you were just a lay person going in and you're not getting much help from somebody who knows what they're doing, they're obviously not going to Kelsey's, clearly. What should they look for?
Well, when you're buying vitamins, obviously always look for the NPN to make sure that it's been approved by Health Canada.
Okay, good.
Past that, you want to look at the ingredients and what's on the label. So the more higher quality ones are now getting all of their ingredients from plant-based sources. So brands like Whole Earth and Sea,
Yeah.
Mega Foods, New Chapter, they're all getting their vitamins from, well, they're trying to get most of their vitamins from food-based sources. So that's always, very prominent on the label, and you can read that and then and you can buy with confidence. Past that, you can also you can research, of course, online. I mean, everybody has their phones now, so you can, check and see what the reviews are online. And I mean, reviews can be really useful on non-biased sites. Make sure that you're not getting the reviews from the actual manufacturer's website. You want to get it from some place that, isn't filtering out the comments, and, you want to make sure that you're getting it from a good place. But yeah, I mean, also, I mean, always try to find somebody to talk to. I mean, most people that sell vitamins, I mean, you hope that they'd be, well trained, and, they can always help you out with finding the right vitamin that's for you. And remember to, ask a lot of questions. And I mean, vitamins are funny. You can buy value-based vitamins as well, and make sure that they're, from Canada. You can make sure you're buying vitamins that are, vegan, vegetarian, whatever you're looking for. And then you can also make sure that you're buying vitamins that are in line with your values with companies as well, because a lot of the companies these days with vitamins are being bought out by bigger conglomerates and might not be in line with your values.
Yes, that's been a huge thing this week, right? With Nestle.
Nestle, yes, Nestle. We just found out that Nestle bought Atrium, which has the Garden of Life vitamins.
Huge Garden of Life, and Genestra, and a whole bunch of like huge go-to vitamin brands that we all know and love. But that's totally digressing, so I'm not even going to go there. But it is crazy the amount of controversy that's out there in like the supplement world right now. So, okay, I'm going to put you on the spot. What are your top 3 brands that you would choose, that you would recommend above others? And what are the 2 brands you would caution somebody to stay away from? I'm going to make you say something controversial.
Well, Centrum, I wouldn't go for, just because, like the whole quality thing. Not a huge fan. Not a huge fan.
Good. So Centrum is a no-go?
No. Okay.
Okay.
One brand that I do like, and it might be a little bit biased because I have been through 2 of their factories in British Columbia, is Natural Factors. They are Canadian. They're still independently owned. And I've been through 2 of their factories, like I was saying, and I've been pretty impressed. I mean, the price point is good. They're a good value, and they actually do good for the community and for the earth too. They're also the company that's the Whole Earth and Sea brand is under as well.
Okay.
So, they've got their own farms. They grow a lot of their own stuff, right? So I'm happy with them.
So Natural Factors we like, Centrum we don't. Anything you want to give an honorable mention to?
I like the Health First brand, obviously. It's our own home brand for the Health First network. It's a cool brand because us as store owners get to actually put input into what the vitamin manufacturer makes. So we can talk to our customers, find out what they're looking for, and based on our input, they will come up with the formulations, and then, go through the process of getting them approved with Health Canada. So for example, we wanted a really good anti-inflammatory product. So they made Curcumin Supreme, which is curcumin that's formed with a patented form of curcumin called Mariva, and it's time release. And then they've formulated it with alpha lipoic acid, grape seed extract, and a couple of different things. MSM, I believe, is in there as well.
Wow.
And yeah, it's really cool what we're able to make based on the feedback we get from the customers with our own product line.
That's really cool. And that's called the Health First line.
Yes, and you can only get it at Health First brand stores, but there's stores across Canada, so it's not too difficult to find.
Cool. That's wonderful. Okay. So it is 8. Oh my God. How did it become 8:30 already? This this is just flown by. This has been so great, Tori. Thank you so much for answering these questions. Okay. So if you guys have questions watching live, post them in the comments now. And as we're wrapping up, we'll make sure that we get to them. If you guys are on the replay and you have questions, Tori will make sure to come back and check and maybe help to answer them like within the next few days. Yeah, she's great like that. Amazing.
Oh, of course.
Of course. So if you could choose 5 supplements that you think make a big difference in, quality of life for women. So in terms of energy, in terms of inflammation, in terms of brain function, in terms of general health and wellness, if somebody came into your store and said, I just want to feel better, what would you sell them? What do you think would be like the top 5 things that they should walk out with?
Depending on the person, I mean, everything depends on each person's individual story.
We're going to totally.
But in broad terms, obviously probiotics, because they do so much. And I mean, all of the side effects of probiotics are good. So always probiotics. Curcumin, there's been huge strides with curcumin. It reduces body inflammation, but they found that it can also help with things like, migraines, headaches, just reducing body inflammation as a whole can really, really help with people.
Okay. So how do you take curcumin? Is it a pill form? Is it tea? Like what's the scoop?
You can take curcumin in its original form, which is turmeric. Curcumin consists of about 2% of turmeric. And what most companies do is they extract the curcumin from the turmeric and they condense it into a pill form, or some companies have now started making it into a gel cap. But it's very, very beneficial for inflammation in the body, which can be connected to a whole bunch of other issues, not just arthritis, but, and joint pain. But of course, headaches, all that kind of fun stuff.
So probiotics, curcumin, what else you got?
Fish oils.
Tell us about fish oil. Why is fish oil so important, and what do you need to look for when you're buying fish oil?
Fish oil helps with, it's oil, right? So it helps with brain function. We're essentially fat heads. We've got a whole bunch of fat in our brains, and it needs to be fed. So we need to take fish oil for, cognitive abilities. There's been studies, preliminary studies, but studies nonetheless that have said that it's could be beneficial to people who are suffering from degenerative diseases of the brain, like Alzheimer's and, that kind of thing. It can also help with having healthy skin, plumpness in the face as well, of course, like, smoothing out fine lines and wrinkles. And then, of course, it helps with cardiovascular, helps with your heart, helps with, also with you want to take fish oils when you take your multivitamins, because the oil in the fish oil helps the multivitamins get to where they want to go. And it helps encase the vitamins and make sure that they're absorbed properly.
Awesome. Okay. We got 3. What else you got? 2 more.
Well, vitamin D, of course, like you were saying, of course, you want to always take vitamin D. It's useful in so many metabolic reactions that, you want your vitamin D. And finally, magnesium. I was reading a study.
Good one. Yes.
Yeah, I was reading a study. It was in the States. So we're, fairly close to the American population, but apparently about 80% of the American population is deficient in magnesium. Wow. And it's so useful for a whole bunch of different things, not just to take with calcium for bones, but it's also good for sleep. It's good for restless leg syndrome. It's good for achy, tired muscles.
Totally.
For a whole bunch of things. Yeah. So magnesium is kind of like, something a lot of people don't really think of, but you should, be taking a magnesium. There's different forms of it. If you want just like a really okay everyday one, there's Calm magnesium. Yeah. But if you want, like if you're deficient and you want a really good quality one, you want a glycinate or a bisglycinate formula because they're more absorbable and used by the body.
Yes, magnesium is amazing. That is one of my favorite supplements. It's amazing for relaxation, tension, headaches, helps you sleep better. And I say this all the time to my clients, like we are so magnesium deficient. Like if you are having issues with, not sleeping well at night, if you're having issues being stressed and tired, a lot of the times you can fix it with magnesium. Like it's amazing. So that's really cool. There's a question here from Lori who says, what's best for arthritis? So I know you talked about curcumin. What else would you suggest if somebody comes in with arthritis as their main issue?
Well, eggshell membrane. There's been a lot of new studies coming out on eggshell membrane. It's a couple companies have come out with their own form of it. There's Natural Factors, obviously has eggshell membrane. A new one though that I've had a lot of really good feedback with is the Genuine Health eggshell membrane, and they have a joint formula, arthritis formula, and they actually make theirs with the bromelain, which not only is good for digestion but has also been proven to help with arthritis as well. So and eggshell membrane essentially is just another form of glucosamine. So glucosamine is always good, chondroitin, MSM, and then of course things like devil's claw and willow bark can also help with the pain management and also the inflammation as well that arthritis goes hand in hand with of course the joint degeneration.
Wow. So there's a fair amount, though, that you just said that can help with arthritis, which is amazing because arthritis is one of those things that most people as they age suffer from. And I feel like a lot of the time we get stonewalled a little bit. And, when Advil stops working, it's tough, right? You go, what do you do from there? And a lot of people don't know that all of these options are available. So Lori, hopefully that answers your question. And I think it's probably time to wrap this up. Tori, do you have any other, before we wrap this up, I think we should tease out what we're doing next week.
Ooh, yes. So I've got a little bag here with a couple different products.
With a lot of products.
Yeah, and I've got some of the things that we mentioned today, like some mushrooms and that kind of thing. I don't know if you can see that.
So cool. Yeah, we can see it. We can see the mushrooms. So Tori's got a bag full of goodies. She's going to keep showing you things, and I keep showing them, keep teasing this stuff out. And next week we're going to do a giveaway. So we are going to put together a kick-ass giveaway with, look at these. These are some of my favorite things: XCT oil, bulletproof brain octane. We're putting together a giveaway, and we're basically going to give all of these products to one lucky winner, Lee's ghee. So this is ghee that was maple flavored. Did you say, Tori?
It is maple flavored, yes, for coffees.
So to add some ghee into your coffee, come on. And so she's basically just got this bag full of goodies. And this is what we're going to do. We're going to announce a really cool contest next week, a little pre-Christmas giveaway that we're partnering up on. And so anywhere you can, my favorite gum, chocolate mint pure. So we're basically going to be giving this product to somebody. So stay tuned. Make sure to like the Kelsey's page. I'll put a link to it on the Lavish Nutrition page. Make sure you go to my page. And then, look at all of this stuff. Are those some protein bars, Tori?
Oh yeah, protein bars.
So what we'll do is if you're in the Peterborough area, you get to pick it up at Kelsey's and, get a little tour of the store and actually meet Tori. If you're not, I will cover the shipping and we will send this wherever it needs to go within Canada and the US. So this is going to be a pretty awesome giveaway. I'm really excited about it. Before we end this, I've got one last question from Mary who says, this is another great question. Do you recommend taking ox bile after a gallbladder removal? And if so, what kind?
Ox bile is fantastic after a gallbladder removal because it, again, helps with the digestion, helps with getting everything broken down. As to what kind, it's difficult for me to say. I haven't found a really good single ingredient ox bile on the market. Most of the time that you're buying ox bile, it's combined with a whole bunch of ingredients. So it's combined with, different digestive enzymes. And after a gallbladder removal, you've got a whole bunch of other things that you need to worry about, like if you're on any other medications. So of course, talk to your naturopath or your doctor first before you have any, take any nutritional supplements that are, full of a whole bunch of different things.
Totally. But yes, totally. Ox bile is an amazing, amazing option. But I agree with Tori. So we should just say this too within this video, because this has been such a great conversation on supplements, but everybody is different. And so if you are thinking about adding supplements into your life, I think it's amazing. It's a great idea, but definitely talk to somebody first, right? Talk to your naturopath. Naturopaths are an amazing source of information on supplements. And a lot of times they're covered under most healthcare plans. So a lot of the times you can get your appointment covered, which is amazing. And you could just request a supplement review, like really. You can talk to a nutritionist like me. If it's, if you're just kind of talking about like different nutrients, what they do, how they work. But again, when it gets into really dosing and interactions with medication and all of that good stuff, I think talking to a naturopath is such a great idea. And it's becoming so mainstream now. And there's so many great naturopaths. I mean, here in Peterborough, like I could just like name off a whole bunch of amazing, mostly women actually, but naturopaths who are doing such great stuff, and they all work within different niches. So I think that is really important to be said. So talk to somebody before you go and buy all the supplements and just start taking them willy-nilly. And I don't think I see any other questions coming in. Do you have anything you want to say to close this out, Tori?
Just thank you very much for having me. And if anybody has any further questions, just leave it in the comments and I'll be sure to get back to you.
Amazing. So thank you for coming on. This has been so great. I feel like we should do this like somewhat regularly and come up with amazing like supplement related things, because I think it's so good. So Tori's family owns Kelsey's. It's here in Peterborough. I'm going to link to it I'm going to edit the title of this live, and so if you're watching on the replay, you'll be able to just click through and actually go and see Kelsey's page and give it a like. So if you're watching this, look for that afterwards, because they really are fantastic. They're my go-to for everything in Peterborough. They answer my questions. They're amazing. So that's it, guys. We want to thank you, as Tori said, for coming and hanging out with us this past 40 minutes. It was a bit longer than lives normally are, but I think it was so good and so useful. So if you have questions, if you have comments, please post them in the thread on this. And stay tuned for next week, because we are going to be doing, I'm really excited. This is going to be a great giveaway. It's perfect for pre-Christmas, and we're going to post about it early next week. So that is it, guys. I'm going to say a big cheers. Cheers, Tori. And we're going to